everybody? Welcome to Talkin with Tron here today at Wilson Toyota of Ames. He is Tron Smith. I am Chris Williams. We're here at 2212 South Duff Avenue. Come by. Gas prices are getting high. I think of no better reason to come by one of those Corollas.
Oh, Corollas? Yaris?
Camry I've got right now, Tron. I tell you what, the difference between my Jeep and my Camry is unbelievable. I don't want to even take that Jeep anywhere at this point.
And I'll tell you this, probably a lot of things, a lot of dealers can't say this. I actually have Priuses. They're going to be available.
When?
They're not here, but they're coming. But you know what? There's no problem with buying them before they get here. That'd be a good deal. But I do.
Nice.
I have a few Priuses. So if you're in the market for a Prius, now's a good time to be contacted.
Tell them to go. What's your phone number, actually, if they want to call you right now?
515-598-2029. That is direct. Give me a call. We'll get you signed up.
That's big news breaking, because these Priuses are nowhere after the issues in Japan and the gas prices. They're very high demand. So give Tron a call today. We're going to talk a little bit of football here today on Talking with TronCycloneFanatic.com.
Yeah, no, wait a minute. Here's a problem, Cyclone fans. You know, I got an opportunity to go in, and I follow Chris. I read more than he thinks I do. I read his mailbag.
I appreciate that.
I got a problem with your mailbag, dude. I mean, you're sitting in here, and you pose this question, what do people think of the season?
Wait a second.
No, here's
Somebody
the deal.
else posed the question.
Whatever the fact is, you didn't answer the question. You went in and you dibble-dabble, you done your little ballerina dance around the question. Here's the deal, man. We always talk about getting straight to the point, keeping it real, making the facts the facts.
Yep.
We're going to find out right here in this video where you truly stand for next season.
What do you mean where I truly stand? I said that Iowa State, going into the season, will likely be favored in 2 games. How is that not a fact? How is that dancing around like a ballerina?
Listen. Are we going to beat K-State?
Yeah, are we going to beat them?
Listen, don't
There's 11 games before
I don't care about that.
Pick wins and
Here's the deal.
losses right
Last year about this time, I said Texas was going to lose to Iowa State, and they lost. It's nothing like, listen, you're Chris Williams, dude. You're Chris Williams.
Yeah.
Tell the people what they want to hear. Will we beat Iowa or not?
What they want to hear is
No, we're not 12-0.
That's what they want to hear.
Man,
Here's
the deal. Here's what I want to know. I'm going to be you, and you can be some other guy. Be the wrestler that you said you were going to be there on the video. I read that also. Wrestler with a plaid shirt and whatever.
Hollywood Williams.
Yeah, right. Here's my deal. And I'm just go straight down the line. Just give me a win or loss.
All right.
Who cares if it doesn't happen? I want to know right now where you stand.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you ready? Okay, you and I.
That's a win.
UConn. I know.
Win. I actually think they beat UConn.
Okay.
I really
do we beat Iowa?
Oh, boy, that's hard, Tron, because, I mean, if you look what they've done against Iowa...
The rest of the season doesn't matter. I want to know, can we win the first 3?
Can you beat Iowa? Yes. You absolutely can.
Why wouldn't you? Here's the thing that I was talking about. The funny thing is, me and Williams, we were just over here, and what happens? Every time you come around, there's a Hawk fan that walks right in the door.
This Hawk fan was in there, drinking the Big Ten.
What did he say they're going to be?
Making
10-2?
8-4. 8-4, but he wouldn't be surprised if they went 10-2. And he was being serious, no jokes.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
The Iowa game, I think, actually, yes, it's a very winnable game, and that's what I wrote. If you read what I wrote...
I read what you wrote.
But if you really did, Tron.
I did. Well, how did I know about
the plan? I said numerous times, I listed all these games, and I said, these are winnable football games. The question was, that I posed, how many games is Iowa State going to be favored in? See, because, Tron, it's May 5th right now, and we're recording this video. I can't dive all in.
We don't care about where we're favored. Are we ever favored? Do we ever get favored?
I got to have something to write about for the next 4 months, or whatever it is.
Dude, you're Chris Williams. Figure it out, man. Well, I just read a freaking thing about you wanting to be a wrestler. Who cares?
I dip my toes into the pool with that, okay? I can't just dive right into the template.
Here's the deal, because I'm looking down the line, because all the Hawk fans keep coming up to me and expressing to me how they're going to beat Iowa State. Here's the problem they haven't realized. First of all, they got a big problem on defense. Give me one guy. Who's playing on their defense? Do you know? Nobody knows. You know why? Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. Here's the deal. They will not beat Iowa State this year. I'm going out like I did about Texas last year. They're not going to win. You know why? One thing I really like about this quarterback dilemma. Big dilemma, right? We don't know who's going to be our quarterback. The problem is they don't have ties to Iowa. Doesn't matter. I think with Austin, I think he tried too hard. I think he got happy feet, and I don't think he's ever had a good game against Iowa.
No.
We're not going to have that issue this year. We're going to have a quarterback that's not from Iowa. We're going to have a running back that's not from Iowa. These guys are going to go out here. They're going to want to play the ball game. I think it's too early in the season. Second game, I think we win. And not only do we win, I think we win big. Yep, I said it. Well, so get ready for the message boards to light up there.
I hope so. HawkeyeNation.com. That's Tron Smith, Wilson Toyota of Ames. Give them a call, because this happened last year.
Out there.
We had some Hawk fans call Tron. And they left messages, but they weren't too tough to come in here and talk.
But I just want to say this, because I think it needs to be said, because this is going to be a question, I'm sure, at one point. You know, in football, usually when they give you the stats, they say like 6 foot, 240 pounds, but they're really like 5'9", 200.
Yeah.
That ain't the case with me. Here you go. I'm 6'2", I'm 280 pounds, and there's no fudge there, buddy. That's the true deal, man.
Yeah, it's a machine sitting next to me right there. A machine. Well, let's break down the schedule a little further.
Okay.
Because there are multiple games on there that really could go either way.
I agree.
I mean, UConn is on the road. Yes, they played in a BCS game last year, but they lost their coach. They lost a lot. That's a winnable football game in year 3 of the Paul Rhodes era at Iowa State.
I haven't beaten Iowa. You know what? I don't have them beating UConn.
You don't? Okay.
I don't. I think it's a tough game. I think it's it's going to be tough.
Okay. Another game is at Baylor. That's tough because it's still Robert Griffin's football team. They had 2 first-round draft picks. You know, they're not winning bowl games and they're not competing for Big 12 titles, but the talent is rising in Waco. I think Art's a pretty decent football coach.
I think that's another tough game. And now that game is a little harder to call than the Iowa game for me. I think it's on the road, and I think you're into the season a few games. I think you really know who you are. At that point, I think we really need to look at it and say, okay, who is it? We will know who we are, and they'll know who they are by the time we play.
At Texas Tech, I put in really the same category. I don't think they're going to be that good, but it's still a road game in Texas. You can't just slough it off as a win because Iowa State beat them last year. You can't do that.
I don't think you mark it up as a win, but I did have that as a win. See, I'm already picking wins and losses.
And the other one is at Kansas State because they're really, you know, that's a football team that's similar to Iowa State. I look at Kansas State, I think of Iowa State. You lost your star running back. You've got a quarterback controversy at quarterback with a junior college guy coming in. He actually was Cam Newton's replacement down at Blinn, which doesn't really mean anything, but
Did he get paid? Is that what you're saying?
Probably. But point being, I mean, there's a lot of those fringe games. What stinks about it for Iowa State, the way the schedule's set up, those fringe games happen to all be on the road this year. So next year, the schedule is going to be a lot more favorable for Iowa State when I'm talking about 2012, but it is going to be I'd much rather have Baylor coming to Ames than
us going to Baylor.
Correct.
I agree, but you know, I think about that K-State game, and I look at that, and you're exactly right. This thing is together, and it all looks the same, including when you talk about coaching. You know, you look at the coaching staff. You got 2 coaches that all the players love, and like we always talk about, when the player is involved and he loves the fact he loves his coach, he buys in. It's going to be a tough game every year. Last 3 years has been a tough game. Iowa State, Kansas State. I'm tired of losing the close ones. I think Paul and the staff, I think they're going to figure it out. I think we beat K-State too.
All right, so Tron here again. We're at the beginning of May, and
I'm calling.
We got a lot of predictions that we can make here going forward over the next few months. But Tron's saying a bowl game. He is saying a bowl.
I said we're going to be in bowl contention this year.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to go that far yet because, like I say, I gotta leave myself some wiggle room here, man. I got a couple months to fill.
I got some wiggle room, and I'll take this right out of your library. I can always change.
Okay. Well,
I think of course things depend. It depends on how the season goes, if people are healthy, things like that. But right now, I'm looking at this ball club, I'm looking at other ball clubs, and I think these games. I think the UConn game. I'm not going out and saying, okay, we're going to beat Okie State, we're going to beat Oklahoma. We're not going to win those games. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I think we got a pretty fair. I think we should beat KU.
The one thing you got to keep in mind, especially with a game like Oklahoma State that's being played in Ames, during the first 2 years of Paul Rhodes' tenure at Iowa State, his program really has developed a reputation for being a giant killer. They did it with Texas, even though Texas wasn't any good. Going on the road and beating that school for the first time in program history is an accomplishment. Going on the road to what was down a Nebraska team. But they're developing that mentality now, Tron, where they could beat anybody on any given Saturday, whereas 10 years ago
that wasn't the case.
That wasn't always the case.
Well, I think that the coaches have done a great job of saying, listen, honestly, in all actuality, hey, we're going into these games going, you have absolutely nothing to lose. You might as well leave it all out there. And when they do that, as we saw last year, we should have beat Nebraska again last year. It was one of those games where you got to put it all in. And listen, no, I don't think we're going to beat Oklahoma this year. That team is just going to be a great team. But it's far enough down to where a lot of things can happen between now and then. And maybe we are as good as the stats say we are, and maybe we find a receiver, because that's going to be the deal. Right now, I don't know who's going to catch the ball. I mean, that's the big problem we had last year, and the big problem we're going to have this year.
You can go vote on that poll, actually, if you scroll back a few stories here at Cyclone Fanatic. You got that new poll software. I'm really liking it. Who's going to lead the Cyclones in touchdown passes? That's the poll of the week.
Who's going to lead? Who are you picking?
I actually, I picked Josh Lenz, to be honest with you. Money Reynolds was leading the voting, but, I see something out of Josh Lenz. He might not be the most explosive player on the team, but if you look at the receivers there, I mean, he He is. I mean, he's proven to be the most explosive player on the team.
You know what?
He doesn't have that reputation, but he's actually gone out there and done it, unlike these other guys. So that's what makes me go with Josh Lenz.
I'll say this. I agree with you. For the simple fact that you look at Josh Lenz, you think Wes Welker. You think of a guy that, when you hear things, you don't hear Wells all the time. You don't hear about this kid, but he's really that good. And I think Lenz is that good. He's a slot receiver. He doesn't mind getting hit. He likes the middle. I think that's going to be a perfect thing. I think it works.
I hope so. We'll see. There's a lot to digest here over the next few months, Tron. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week, man. We'll do a little talking with Tron again. The Priuses are coming. Get a hold of this guy, 2212 South Duff Avenue in Ames. I'm Chris. He's Tron. Saying so long, everybody.